20 years ago, the Boston Red Sox beat the St. Louis Cardinals to win the 2004 World Series, and Netflix has a new documentary about it. So today, let's see if it's worth your time. Hey everybody, my name is Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services like Netflix. If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming content. This channel is about my love for movies and shows, but my second biggest love is baseball. I loved baseball since a young age. My grandma and mom used to take me to the Kingdom to see the Seattle Mariners play, going to Safeco Field. In summer of 2004, I was going into 7th grade. Up until that point, I really loved Albert Pujols and Ichiro. Those are my two favorite players. And in 2004, I got my own room. I had my own TV, I had cable, and I got to watch the World Series. I remember vividly watching the ALCS between the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox down 3-0 in the ALCS, but them coming back, defeating the Yankees and winning against the Cardinals to win the World Series. I really did like Albert Pujols, so I was rooting for the Cardinals in 2004, and I've been a Cardinals fan ever since then. And it was so cool to see the Red Sox break that curse and have headlines everywhere. So I really do credit the 2004 playoff World Series as a stepping point for me in my love for baseball, because I became more independent. I wasn't relying on my grandma and mom to watch the playoff and the baseball season with them. I was able to do it all by myself. So I was quite excited for this documentary since it has been 20 years since their World Series. And this documentary series was epic. It built up the hype of that World Series win, going back to 2003 with Aaron Boone defeating the Red Sox in the playoffs with that walk-off home run. And then how could the Red Sox try to get to the playoffs again? And you have Alex Rodriguez in a trade that failed, and then you had Yankees bringing in players, the Red Sox bringing in players, having that rivalry between the two. I really like the momentum that this series did build. They just didn't jump into the 2004 ALCS and the World Series. They took a step back, looking at where they were in 2003. They were behind the Yankees. They were in the playoffs. They lost. And how can we rebuild and get to the playoffs again? And then looking at the 2004 series as well, as they had many months where they were behind and they felt like they were crumbling. And then they had their spark once again in trading Nomar Garciaparra. There was a lot of buildup for the eventual showcase of the 2004 ALCS, where they had that historical run and winning 4 games against the Yankees and then the World Series. They just didn't jump into it all. And I really did appreciate the pacing for it and that momentum that they were building throughout interviews and clips of 2003. You got to understand that the Red Sox were up against a lot when it came to the Yankees. And the Yankees did go on to the World Series in 2003, lost against the Florida Marlins, which I do remember betting with my uncle at the time who would win the World Series. I had my bets on the Marlins. He had his bets on the Yankees. Obviously, I won. But it was so cool to see like behind the scenes of how the Yankees and Red Sox were going to enter the 2004 series, showing the 2004 season, their ups and downs, and eventually leading to the playoffs. I love all the interviews for the players with Dave Roberts, who now is a manager for the Dodgers. You have David Ortiz and Kevin Millar, Pedro Martinez, and more. You do feel all of the energy, all of the excitement in their voice as they are reliving that 2004 season. You felt like it was just so important to them. You got an understanding of who they were throughout this documentary and how they had so much fun. Despite having some up and down stretches throughout that season, you did feel the love that they had for each other, despite also some arguments between everybody. But it was nice to see them recounting what happened in 2003 and 2004. So I really did like that they were able to bring in a lot of players, especially with Terry Francona, the manager of that season, with Dave Roberts and David Ortiz, Kevin Millar. So many players that I do remember from 2004 are in here sharing their experience, and it adds such a personal touch to this documentary. But when you get to that third episode of this documentary, you do feel that momentum growing. and you do feel that energy and that excitement that we're going to get to that ALCS. And if I'm being honest, they did brush over the World Series very quickly. They did sweep the Cardinals in 4 games, so I didn't expect it to be like a huge focus of this documentary. A lot of the focus was that 2004 ALCS, and rightfully so. That was so crazy that they were down 3-0 in the ALCS. No team has ever came back to win it, and they won 4 straight games. Every single game after that 3rd game, you could feel like they were going to lose, but they were building that momentum. They were working as a team, and they had some epic moments. And this documentary series manages to capture all of that. I would feel like I was rewatching that series for the first time. I had chills. I loved the energy behind it all. It was all due to that momentum. You feel like everything was just building up perfectly to get to that series, and then showing the 2004 World Series against the Cardinals. But it was so cool to see the ins and outs of losing at the playoffs after Aaron Boone walked off and sent the Yankees to the World Series in 2003. Seeing behind the scenes in the clubhouse, how they reacted, which you really don't get. I'm watching the playoffs currently and seeing teams like the Guardians and the Padres getting sent home, seeing how they react. You don't get to see all of that. And with this documentary, you get to go into the clubhouse. They showed scenes and what had happened and what they could do to fix the next coming season. So this documentary, I got everything that I wanted. It was one of my most anticipated Netflix titles for the remaining of the year, as I do credit the 2004 World Series as a moment for me that just grew my love for baseball. Ever since then, I've been going to different baseball stadiums, watching every single season I can. Even if it's the Mariners constantly losing, I still love watching baseball, and this documentary series just added so much more for me to that 2004 World Series and brought back a lot of fond memories. So if you're a big fan of baseball in general or the Red Sox, I do recommend checking out the Comeback, the 2004 Red Sox documentary on Netflix. It is worth your time. So before I give you my score for the Comeback, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer actions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie-related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button to get it all in one spot. I'm going to go ahead and give the Comeback 2004 Red Sox documentary an A-. Thank you guys for checking my review for the new Red Sox documentary about the 2004 World Series. Have you guys seen it by chance? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.